This is the Harpe Ace, Asus's new attempt to make the ultimate lightweight wireless gaming mouse. And you know what? I think they pulled it off. What's up guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to Techtacular. Today we're checking out Asus ROG's newest flagship, the Harpe Ace, a premium, ultra lightweight wireless gaming mouse. Weighing an incredible 54 grams, the Harpe Ace is laser focused on the lightweight crown, but it's up against mice like the Logitech G Pro Superlight, the SteelSeries Aerox 5 Wireless, and the glorious Forge Series Modulo Pro. Honestly, lightweight mice in general are kinda nuts these days. I mean, this mouse is big enough to fit comfortably in an average hand. It has components, switches, and a battery, and yet this thing's lighter than my empty glasses case. Better yet, it's lighter than my wrist rest, which is just made of cloth and some padding. That's literally insane. But the Harpe Ace is special. It was designed from the ground up with eSport professionals, and with Aimlab, a free software that trains your accuracy, speed, and control with a mouse to perform better in games. It does this by being able to directly communicate with the mouse and change the settings on the fly during training to see what works best for you. This is so cool. Never before has there been a tool like this. This neat trick really makes it hard to overlook. Wait, is that why they called it the Ace? Because the Aimlab functionality is the ace up its sleeve? Alongside the Harpe Ace, ROG also released the Hone Ace, a super large square mousepad with a hybrid cloth fabric surface. It has a protective nano coating too, making it water, oil, and dust repellent. Apart from the cool Aimlab design, it has measurement markings along the bottom that are designed to be used in conjunction with Aimlab, but we'll touch on that later. Then underneath, it has a textured, non-slip rubber base. Before we go further, I want to remind you guys of two things. One, ROG ANZ did provide both products for review, but my thoughts and opinions are purely my own. And two, while certain aspects of a mouse can be objectively better or worse than others, the feel, the shape, and the weight, and how many buttons it should have, all comes down to personal preference. If you prefer heavier mice, well, you obviously won't like this mouse, but it doesn't mean it's bad, it's just not for you. I've used a lot of gaming mice in my time, which informs my objective opinions and recommendations, but at the end of the day, my goal is to give you all the information you need so you can decide if this mouse is for you. So let's start answering that. The Harpe Ace has quite the striking design, with its matte black finish, only showing color on the two side buttons, rocking the signature Aimlab blue. Both the Aimlab and ROG logos are present, but are grayed out to match the minimal design. The Harpe Ace was designed to provide the most control and balance while still being comfortable. Its symmetrical shape was easy to adjust to, and it comfortably supports all three mice grips. For those that might be unaware, fingertip, claw, and palm are the three different mice grips that people use, with palm grips being the most common. And by comfortably supporting a palm grip, that means the Ace is great as a daily mouse for regular PC use instead of just being a side mouse for competitive games. While it will never beat holding it for yourself, I've measured my hand in 3 different ways to compare to your own hands and hopefully give you a good starting reference point to see how this mouse would fit in your hands. And using a simple ruler, you can get some pretty close approximates. My thumb to pinky distance is approximately 22 centimeters. Base of the palm to the tip of my middle finger is 18 centimeters. And palm width measured in the middle of the palm is approximately 8.9 centimeters. If this point of reference is helpful, or if you guys want me to measure my hand in different ways for the future, let me know in the comments below. The whole mouse is made from a bio-based nylon material, which has a nice textured finish across the whole mouse. It's grippy and pretty nice to hold. Being nylon, it's going to be easier to keep clean, and it's more durable than regular plastic. So if you end up slamming it on your desk in rage while playing Overwatch or League of Legends, it's gonna hold up. They do also include some extra grip pads that you can stick onto the mouse to combat your sweaty gamer hands and to add some extra flair. Not only does the Harpe Ace support Asus's SpeedNova wireless technology, but it also supports Bluetooth, which is great to see. And it can pair with up to 3 different devices. Both wireless modes and wired all support a 1000 Hz polling rate as well. Speaking of wired, the Harpe Ace includes a lightweight paracord USB-C cable that easily stays out of your way. You will also receive a USB-C to A dongle to keep the receiver close by. It also rocks Asus's Aimpoint 36000 DPI optical sensor with their ROG micro mouse switches, boasting up to 70 million clicks. Here's a sound test. I absolutely love how these switches feel. They are incredibly satisfying. They definitely feel better than the G Pro Superlight for sure. However, from my testing, it felt like the Superlight required less force to click than the Harpe Ace. Not by much, but just enough to be noticeable. Underneath the mouse hides the mode switch, DPI button, pairing button, and a slot for the USB receiver. Flicking the mode switch to wired mode in the middle also acts as its off state when a cable isn't plugged in. We also have 100% PTFE feet, which can also be replaced with the additional pads that are provided in the box. The Harpe Ace also supports onboard memory, and using certain button combinations, you can change profiles, DPI, lift-off distance, and polling rate without even going into the software. Aside from your standard mouse buttons, the only extra buttons the Harpe Ace provides are the forward and back buttons on the left-hand side. These, along with the left and right clicks and the scroll wheel, are fully programmable. Now, that scroll wheel, however, is where the Harpe Ace takes its first misstep. It's an all-plastic construction with a thin, textured rubber ring through the center. However, the outer edge plastic and the rubber are transparent. That's right, I said transparent because in classic ROG fashion, everything has to have RGB somewhere. It's pretty cool and makes the most sense since you cover the RGB on most gaming mice with your hand anyway. But while the LED is decently bright, there wasn't that much difference between 25 and 100%. And towards the front of the wheel, its diffusion gets quite patchy. As for the scroll itself, it's honestly a little mushy, but still tactile enough to just get a passing grade. But the Harpe Ace returns to strength with its amazing battery life. Asus claims 90 hours without RGB and 79 hours with RGB. The claimed 90 hours is specifically with the default breathing lighting effect. So I set the Ace to the breathing effect, 25% brightness, sleep mode after 2 minutes of idle, and I was connected via the wireless receiver. Amazingly, by the time it hit 18%, I was already 95 hours in of use time. I am super impressed with these results. The good news only continued when I went to charge it. It only took just over an hour to charge from that 18 to 100%. With battery life and charge times this good, I highly doubt you will ever need to use this mouse wired. Now, while the sleep mode is a great feature, it is also super annoying if you set the idle timer too low. It wouldn't be an issue if it didn't take a solid 3 seconds for the mouse to wake up once it sensed movement. While being set to 2 minutes obviously helps battery life, I doubt leaving it at the default 5 minutes would make any significant difference, and that is honestly what I would recommend. Now, how does Aimlab factor into all of this? Inside the mouse optimizer, which can be found in the custom menu, there are 4 specialized tests, but 3 of them are only for the Harpe Ace: DPI tuning, angle tuning, and lift-off distance. Every training task on Aimlab is great for improving accuracy and control, and these Harpe Ace specific ones are no exception. The reason these tests are specific to the Harpe Ace is because Aimlab can directly talk to the Harpe Ace, and it can change the settings on the fly as you're doing the test, and then determine which settings are going to be best for you. I gave the tests a run and got my results. DPI was 650, angle tuning was 1, and lift-off distance was low. Aimlab does offer a prompt to automatically change these settings in the mouse for you, but it didn't seem to work for me, and I still had to go into Armory Crate and manually make those changes, so hopefully that will get fixed. I then went back around and did the DPI training another 2 times, and I got 1150 for both. I noticed that as I did these training missions, my hand grip was altering, became more aware of my movements and how I held the mouse, and my grip slowly changed to more of a half claw to compensate for the part of my hand that was actually being dragged on the mouse pad compared to my normal palm grip. So I applied the left and right pieces of the grip tape onto the Harpe Ace and adjusted my hand and went for another 2 tests. I got 850 and 450. With practice bias aside, these ones felt a lot more comfortable and I definitely felt like I had more control as well. So I jumped into Overwatch and took the new settings for a test run. I queued as Widow, who I rarely ever play since my sniper aim has never been the best, and the result? It was a night and day difference.
No, Hayes, that was not the move.
There is also an ROG event that holds another set of tests. Anyone can do these ones regardless of your mouse choice. After your first run of them, the Hone Ace task unlocks. Sadly, I was a bit disappointed here. The tasks themselves are great aim training tools, including the Hone Ace one, but I didn't see any benefit at all by having the Hone Ace mousepad. Marketing a special Aimlab task that will improve your aim seems silly when in reality it isn't doing or showing you anything that requires you to have those measurements next to you. And if I'm missing something here, then they clearly did not do a good enough job in Aimlab to highlight that for the average person. At its price of $50 Australian though, it's a damn good mousepad, and for its size and quality, it's about on par with others. So as long as you like the Aimlab design and the size is exactly what you're looking for, the mousepad gets a thumbs up from me. Alright, let's talk Harpe Ace pricing and comparisons. For 189 AUD or 135 USD, is it worth it? I absolutely think so. For a brand new mouse to only be slightly more expensive than most of its competition while offering just so much more makes it really hard to ignore. Asus pulled out all the stops and made sure its price wasn't just competitive, it was a statement. A statement that shows Asus is finally bringing some serious competition to the peripheral market. Ignoring the current sale prices right now in Australia, the cheapest I've seen the G Pro Superlight is about $200, but launched much higher than that. The SteelSeries Aerox 5 Wireless is currently about $259, and the glorious Forge Series Model O Pro is $159. As far as switches and sensors go, the Harpe Ace most certainly performs just as good if not better in comparison, and it's the only mouse to offer Bluetooth besides the SteelSeries, which is also $70 more. It beats out the others in battery life over wireless and only falters with the scroll wheel. Now, I can already hear you keyboard warriors running to the comments to say, "But Nick, Armory Crate sucks." Listen up, especially you, Jimmy, I see you using all caps. No peripheral software is perfect. Like, that's just the hard truth. Everyone and their mother on the internet has their own opinions, including me. While there is always going to be room for improvement, peripheral software only needs to do 5 things. Work properly, be super user-friendly, not have any weird limitations that cause friction in just using the thing, not hogging PC resources, and lastly, to work properly. Armory Crate and G-Hub are fine. I've never run into any issues with either of them, and they work well enough. The SteelSeries software is meh, and the glorious Core software, while when it does work it's usable, sometimes it doesn't. And then when it does work, it's still hot garbage. Even you glorious fanboys can't deny that. The Aimlab integration is seriously game-changing for everyone. From beginners just getting into PC gaming, to highly skilled players looking to further refine their aim. If you are looking for a competitive gaming mouse with great build quality, performance, and chock full of features and connectivity, then the Harpe Ace gets a strong recommendation from me, and I have no doubt we will start to see ROG find a home in more gaming setups because of it. Even if Aimlab starts working with other peripheral makers to integrate the same type of functionality with their gaming mice, and honestly, it would be a really cool move as long as they don't jack prices up to compensate for that. The Harpe Ace would still be an incredibly solid option due to its performance and features at this price. Asus could have easily charged a lot more for this mouse, feeling that the Aimlab functionality was so game-changing that if you wanted to be better at games, you would have to pay for it. But no. They didn't, because the Harpe Ace is physical proof that Asus wants to be the best option for lightweight wireless gaming mice, without breaking the bank, and not just a privilege for those with the money to spare. Asus's name has always been synonymous with the idea of quality, and they want to make sure you associate that with their peripherals now as well. Hopefully this review has given you enough information to decide if the Harpe Ace is for you. And if you have any questions about it, then please leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer them. And of course, if this video did help you, then please let me know by leaving a like on this video. And if you want to see more reviews, then you got to slap that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Nick. This is Techtacular. You've been spectacular. See you next time.